Well, good to get out here. Phase 3 portion of it. Be able to compete against one another, albeit with certain restrictions, 50-50 balls, not a lot of running game. Make sure our offense and defensive line are practicing the right way. But just to go ahead and execute the schemes against, the opponent, defense or offense, it's good to get out here and do that. We've had a productive, say, month and a half here since they've been back. Everybody's here today. Not everybody will participate, but everybody is here. And we've had great attendance throughout the off-season program. So look forward to getting out here and get started.
Is the offensive line and defensive line in these type of practices more about the timing of the passing game offense as opposed to going one-on-one and things of that nature?
Yeah, there's no one-on-ones in these camps. And, there's not a lot of bull rushes or variety of games and stunts and things like that. So they're working on their get-offs and their technique. Obviously, want to stay away from the quarterback. But again, that's why it's usually used to be called passing camp. Most of it's passing, the rushes and things like that. We'll work on our technique, but training camp will be an important time for that.
What should we expect? What should we expect to see in regards to the quarterbacks and how you handle them reps-wise? And
Yeah, they all get reps.
Will Jackson's just be within third team offense?
Yeah, they'll all get reps at various spots. So we got a plan for that, and we've been working that since they've been here. But they'll all get reps.
Ryan, you have it's been reported that Evan Neal is converting to guard. He played that position, albeit on the left side in college. How much of a learning curve is there now at this level, plus playing on the right side for him?
Yeah, Evan's a smart guy. He'll be out here today. We'll work him at guard, and I know he's excited about the opportunity he has.
Well, but what do you see his skill set that can translate to an inside position now?
Yeah, he's a big man. He's got length. He's obviously a little bit taller than, I'd say, traditional guards, but he's played it. He's played a number of positions since he's been at University of Alabama. He's been, working hard these last, month and a half, and look forward to getting him out there.
You've been able to throw passes before just OTAs, right? The quarterbacks and the receivers.
Yeah, on air.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what have you seen from Malik in terms of he's working with new quarterbacks after his great rookie year? What have you seen in terms of chemistry-wise with Malik and those quarterbacks?
Yeah, Malik's really just caught the ball. Malik will be out here today, but he won't be participating. We're being mindful of his toe that he's had. Nothing serious, but we're being smart with him in terms of the rehab part of it. So that's where we're at.
did he have a procedure of some sort?
It didn't. So
Nope. Just needs rest.
Yeah. And again, they have a plan. Our doctors, our trainers, if you will, have a plan to kind of move him along, and he's been doing a good job with that.
That an injury from the season, Fred?
Yeah, he's had that. He's had it for a while, back in college too. So just try to be smart, Pat.
You've had a bunch of former players, legends type guys come here.
Sure.
What's the thinking behind that? How much is this your premeditated plan of trying to,
Yeah, something I thought about at the end of the season, getting ready for this upcoming season. Some of the things I wanted to do. One of those was to bring some guys in. Brought a number of them in. There'll be another one here today. Give a good message about what it means to be a Giant for them, and some different things that hopefully mean something to our players. Obviously, a lot of legends that have played the game for this organization, and tremendous football players in the National Football League, and have a good relationship with a lot of those guys, throughout my time here, and they're willing to come in and talk to those young guys. I think it's beneficial for them.
Do you ever ask them what their message is going to be, or you just invite them and say?
No, we have conversations before they come, but again, to hear from an LT or a Stray or a Tuck or an Eli, or there's been a number of them. I think it's good for these players that are playing for this organization to hear from guys that have done it at a high level, not just for the New York Giants, but for the National Football League.
You had a lot of guys injured at the end of last season. Do you have other guys you won't have to do anything?
Yeah, there'll be a few guys here. Andrew will be smart with and keep rehabbing him. There's a couple guys that are sick. Had a stomach bug that won't be out there. Anthony Johnson, he's another guy. he had a shoulder. So, but we have good attendance. Some of these guys were, again, each of those players have individual rehab plans. It's May, so it's important that they progress so we can get them ready for training camp there. And if they're ready to go later on in this process, then they'll do what they can do.
Brian, how do you use OTAs to set the tone for training camp and the season?
Yeah, this is a good foundation piece for you in terms of installing the systems. A lot of new players, draft picks, free agents. They haven't even been out there working together as a team against another unit. So it's just a foundational piece. Again, there's a lot of rules and restrictions for this type of practice, if you will. No shoulder. Y'all know what they are. We've talked about them a number of times. But we'll do the best job we can within the rules to make it as competitive as we can, but to go ahead and to make sure that those new guys are learning our systems, making various adjustments throughout the off season for the guys that have been here. And it's just a good foundation piece for us.
Brian, do you have any plans for joint practices when you get to training camp?
Yeah, working through that now. Have more on that here in due time.
Did Runyon have her procedure this offseason?
Yeah, in terms of the procedures, Pat, I'd say I'm not going to get into who had what, who didn't have what. He'll be out here today. He'll be doing individuals. He'll be doing some install stuff. He's been rehabbing. He's doing a nice job with that.
Dexter, how's Dexter doing his rehab?
Yeah, good. Yep.
Yeah.
All the guys that had some type of injury. I'm not going to get into every single guy here. It's May. They're all on their plan and working hard to be as good as they can be.
So you want to practice this spring? Or anyone who's not going to practice this spring,
Yeah, like I told you, the guys that aren't practicing, we'll see where they're at. We'll evaluate them every day, and if they can do something, they will. If they can't, we'll keep on rehabbing them.
Just a guy that we haven't seen yet, but today will be the first is Paulson. But
Yeah.
Has he? I know he obviously had the injury from last season. Has he been out here?
Yes.
Do you expect him to kind of be a participant?
Yeah, moving well. Looks good out here in shorts and t-shirts, but done a nice job in the things that we've done in phase 2.
What does it mean that everybody is here, and how important is that?
Yeah, again, because it's voluntary. So again, we've had good attendance here past few years. It's good to have everybody here today. The more guys you have, they work with one another and learn about each other, not just on the field, on the field and off the field. So appreciate them coming in. And again, when it's a voluntary practices and voluntary camp, shows they care a lot about it.
It's what are you learning about Russell that maybe you didn't quite know about? You're around him every day.
Yeah, he's a pro. There's a reason why he's had the career that he's had. When you look at his work ethic, his commitment to being the best version of himself that he can be, how he's out here at practice, his leadership traits.